Welcome. It is a tremendous honor to kick off the debate portion of the National Speech and Debate Tournament award ceremony. I'm Jay Rye, coach at the Montgomery Academy from the great state of Alabama. Roll Tide, chair of the Deep South District Committee, and proud elected member of the NSDA Board of Directors. To all of our debate participants, you made it, not just through this week, but through this unpredictable year. Our organization is 96 years old, and speech and debate has evolved a lot in that time. But the level of disruption that we've experienced in 1 year has to be a record. Change has been the only constant. Has this expression ever felt more true? We've changed a lot, competing online. Everything about tournaments, including conventions and rules, had to be reconsidered. We've changed scenery. Our awards room tonight couldn't hold all the national tournament trophies, let alone the thousands of people who usually get to witness final rounds. We've changed our tune for the better. Thanks to our focus on diversity, equity, and inclusion, the way we talk about speech and debate is necessarily progressing. We will always laud what our activity can do for students, but we must also acknowledge the strides needed for equity. Finally, we're changing minds. Well, we've really always done that. That's what speech and debate teaches you to do. And tonight, we'll find out which debate competitors made the most compelling arguments in the minds of their judges. Get excited to name our first National Champions of the Week.
Good evening. I'm Renee Motter, coach at Air Academy High School, chair of the Colorado Grande District Committee, and NSDA board member. I can tell you one thing we haven't had this year, and that's a change of heart. We are more convinced than ever that the voices of students matter, and that every middle and high school should introduce its students to speech and debate events. To competitors, especially our seniors, I urge you not to leave this activity behind. Consider what your coaches have done for you and pay it forward through judging, coaching, or supporting a program somehow in the future. Stay connected and continue to champion speech and debate. This community is the village we need to keep our activity strong. In that vein, I'd like to thank everyone who made this event possible, starting with the NSDA staff, who once again pulled off an event unlike any other, and the many volunteers and event officials who ensure the fairness, efficiency, and equity that we demand of this tournament. Thank you to everyone who has adapted, invested, envisioned, and not just survived, but conquered new challenges this year. We didn't do it alone. We are so lucky to have this national network for support, for learning, and for friendship. So, let's get these awards started. It's time to celebrate.
As we all know, the national tournament would not be possible without the wonderful work of more than 160 TAB and tournament officials who work throughout the week to assure a wonderful and fair competition. The association thanks you for your efforts and extends a special thanks to its main debate event chairs: Shante Jordan, Jeff Stutzman, Jonathan Alston, Michael Patterson, Angelique Renaud, Chris McDonald, Julie Roos, Bill Brown, Cindy Timmons, Kimberly Bayan Burlat, and Kevin Burlat. Throughout the school year, the National Board of Directors works to honorably represent our coach members and students as our organization strives to fulfill its mission to connect, support, and inspire a diverse community committed to empowering students through speech and debate. This past year required a special kind of leadership from this group of individuals as we navigated a world where student memberships were in jeopardy due to disruptions in schools, but demand for innovative resources and tools was at an all-time high. This board never lost sight of our mission and never lost confidence in our staff or in our activities' resilience. Their efforts this week in helping run the largest national tournament in history are also greatly appreciated. Please join me in thanking your National Board of Directors. President Pam Katie Wyckoff. Vice President Dr. Tommy Lindsay Jr. Byron Arthur. Alan Coverstone. Dr. Mike Edmonds. Sarah Gibson. David Houston. Adam J. Jacoby. Jennifer M. Jerome. Renee Motter. Tom Rollins. Bob Runcie, and Jay Rye. I would like to especially recognize the board tenures of Bob Runcie of Florida and Tom Rollins of Virginia, who have both served 2 terms as appointed board members and have been instrumental in fundamental positive changes to our organization and our ability to live out our mission. Thank you so much. To get the rest of the show on the road, please welcome tonight's MCs, Jackie Langston and Tim Sheep.
Thank you, Scott, and good evening. As we crown our first national champions, we regret not being able to present the traditional leis to each winner. However, we thank the contingency from Hawaii for arranging leis for the awards ceremony to infuse the same spirit into our production. It's now time to honor members of the 76th Annual National Congress presented by the Stennis Center for Public Service. The National Speech and Debate Association is most honored to have as our official Congress sponsor the Stennis Center for Public Service. The center conducts programs that attract talented and capable young people to careers and public service leadership and provide leadership development opportunities for current public servants. Beginning this year, all students who earn a spot in the final round of the Senate or the House are presented with the Representative John Lewis Congressional Debate Medallion.
Students who qualify for the final round at the national tournament in congressional debate, House or Senate, are awarded with a medallion to celebrate their achievement. This year, I'm proud to announce that we will be naming the medallion after Representative John Lewis of Georgia. Representative Lewis was known for his fierce advocacy for equal rights. As one of the organizers and speakers of the March on Washington, he knew the power of words and what can be accomplished when great people come together. His lifelong mission to use the power of words to invoke change is one that everyone in this activity can admire. Among countless awards and accolades, he was also awarded the Presidential Medal of Freedom. Representative Lewis's legacy of fighting against injustice, peacefully standing up for his beliefs, and devotedly serving his constituents is something we hope all students will strive to emulate. We are proud to honor Representative Lewis at the 2021 National Tournament and for many years to come.
Tonight, we'll first honor our winners in the recently named Senator Richard Lugar Senate Final Round.
It is only fitting that the final round of congressional debate in the Senate recognize a great senator. Therefore, it is my pleasure to announce that beginning with the 2021 national tournament, that we will honor Senator Richard Lugar of Indiana with this great distinction. As a former high school competitor, Senator Lugar knew the value of dedicated research. He was known among his peers for thoughtfully considering all sides and consulting experts on complicated issues. Over his 36 years in the Senate, he worked with colleagues across the aisle on countless bills. He was recognized with the Presidential Medal of Freedom for his foreign policy work and expertise during his time in the Senate. The ability to thoughtfully listen, consider, and craft your opinion after careful consideration is one that all speech and debate students should strive for. We cannot wait to see these values in the final round of Senator Richard Lugar Senate congressional debate.
This year's Senate began with 192 student competitors. In the Senate, the top presiding officer is Artav Kulkarni from Jasper High School in Texas, coached by Tom McCaffrey. Your winners in the Senate are as follows. In sixth place, Charles Gu from Monte Vista High School in California, coached by David Matley. In fifth place, Olivia Oren from Tyler Legacy High School in Texas, coached by Melody Daniels. In fourth place, Matthew Tweeden from Round Rock Christian Academy in Texas, coached by Kathleen Feroz. In third place, Alex Zhang from Stratford in Texas, coached by Harry Yu. And placing second in the Senate is Veer Januja from Bellarmine College Preparatory in California, coached by Dee Dee Sullivan. And your national champion in the Senate, receiving a $1,000 scholarship from the Stennis Center for Public Service, is Arthav Kulkarni from Jasper High School in Texas, coached by Tom McCaffrey. The Senate Leadership Bowl is awarded to the senator whose peers voted them most outstanding in the final session. The 2021 Senate Leadership Bowl winner is Charles Gu from Monte Vista High School in California, coached by David Matley. Congratulations. It's now time to honor our winners in Representative Barbara Jordan House final round.
The final rounds at the national tournament honor many titans in the world of speech and debate, with events bearing their names. Yet, throughout our entire history, there is no event named for a Black woman. This milestone is far overdue. I'm proud to announce that the final round of congressional debate in the House will honor Representative Barbara Jordan of Texas. Representative Jordan was the first Black woman elected to the Texas State Senate and the first Black Texan in Congress. She also was a member of the Texas Southern University debate team that famously tied Harvard when they came to Houston. As a member of the House of Representatives, Representative Jordan was praised for her rhetoric and speaking skills. She is remembered for her work in legislation promoting women's rights and was awarded the Presidential Medal of Freedom for her work in Congress. This is only the first step toward recognizing the incredible women of color in this activity. But what a first step it is. We can't wait to see the spirited debate in the final round of Representative Barbara Jordan House congressional debate.
This year's House began with 365 competitors. In the House, the top presiding officer is Alexandra Smith from East Ridge High School in Minnesota, coached by Katie Schultz, Tammy Trout McIntyre, and Kevin Jacobson. Your winners in the House are, in sixth place, Zachary Wu from Naperville North High School in Illinois, coached by Michelle Pitts. In fifth place, Davia Matortora from Doherty Valley High School in California, coached by Alicia Reedy, Keshav Raghu, and Tanya Madahadawar. In fourth place, Evelyn Wang from Lewis D. Brandeis High School in Texas, coached by Leslie Crady. And in third place, Andrew Sun from the Harker School in California, coached by Scott Orderkirk. Placing second in the House is Thomas Lay from Bellarmine High School in Texas, coached by Jay Stubbs. And your national champion in congressional debate House, receiving a $1,000 scholarship from the Stennis Center for Public Service, is Alexandra Smith from East Ridge High School in Minnesota, coached by Katie Schultz, Tammy Trout McIntyre, and Kevin Jacobson. The House Leadership Bowl is awarded to the representative whose peers voted the most outstanding in that final session. The 2021 House Leadership Bowl winner is Andrew Sun from the Harker School in California, coached by Scott Odekirk. The Carl Munt Sweepstakes Trophy is a special award named for the association's first president, Senator Carl E. Munt of South Dakota, and presented each year to the school that has accumulated the most congressional debate participation points. Contenders for next year's award will be visible after the conclusion of the tournament in the results packet. With 249 points, Asheville High School in North Carolina, and with 260 points, Bellarmine College Prep in California. And now earning the most accumulated congressional debate participation points this year for the Senator Carl E. Munt Congress Sweepstakes Trophy is awarded to students with 274 total points. Avith Nagawarunda, Eston Kawadohara, Amarahunda, and Charles Gu from Monte Vista High School in California, coached by David Matley.
The William Woods Tate Jr. National Student of the Year Award, presented by Richard Bittner, is one of the most honorable and renowned student awards presented by the National Speech and Debate Association. The Student of the Year Award is given to a graduating senior member who has been honored as a district student of the year and who best represents the tenets of the association's code of honor: humility, equity, integrity, respect, leadership, and service. Earlier this month, each of the 7 National Student of the Year finalists participated in video interviews with our national panel of judges who have selected the individual who will represent the association in various public capacities throughout the 2021-2022 school year. Please join me in celebrating our 7 National Student of the Year finalists in alphabetical order. Ari Arias, representing the Florida Manatee District. Nermit Chadan, representing Florida Oceanfront District. Maya Harris, representing Eastern Missouri District. Ben Liu, representing the Central Minnesota District. Akrashat Parthiban, representing the New Jersey District. Corbin Samansky, representing Northern Lights District. Joshua Timmons, representing the Lone Star District. Before we find out who your National Student of the Year is, let's hear from our finalists.
I'm paying forward what I've learned in speech and debate in multiple different ways, whether that be helping the 3rd and 4th graders at my school with their debate club, teaching them what an argument is, or helping the middle schoolers and their debate club at my school, kind of helping them with their cases, doing a little judging for my school for free, whether that be in the short term and hopefully in the long term, and really just trying to give back to speech and debate what it's given to me, which I honestly don't know if I physically can do, considering how much I've been given by speech and debate.
I am paying forward what I have learned in speech and debate by continuing the legacy of our speech and debate club at my high school. Initially, we were a club of 5 members, learning 2 different events: congressional debate and original oratory. Now, our club strength is 40 members, and we are learning 6 different events.
I'm paying forward what I learned in speech and debate by helping immigrants become United States citizens. Speech and debate has shown me the power of effective communication. And this is really important in my service in particular, because a lot of times my students don't know English very well. And it is essential for me to be able to communicate ideas very effectively about American history, government, and civics for them to understand and be prepared for the citizenship exams. A lot of times for these immigrants, the cards are stacked against them. They didn't have the ability to learn English very well, or they didn't have the ability to go to the education that I had and learn what they have to know for these tests, which is why it is really important for me to give back to my community and engage in this community service.
For the past 3 years, I've been involved in Beyond Resolve, which is the largest student-led advocacy organization inside the speech and debate space. I served as the research and education director, managing the argument breakdown, working on Beyond Resolve Institute, and numerous other projects. In addition, I conducted a narrative-based research project on the transgender experience in high school speech and debate, which not only has continued to inform my understanding of trans rights outside of the speech and debate community, but also the advocacy that I've done on the wave of anti-trans bills passed this last legislative session. In addition, I've also become involved in different climate advocacy circles through United States Climate Strike, where my skills speaking persuasively and researching have come in handy.
In June and July, I used the organization skills that I learned just from being a competitor in this activity to organize fundraisers for Black Lives Matter. Racial injustice obviously is something that both impacts me and also something that I have a certain degree of privilege in, coming from the area that I live in. It's a predominantly white city. In June, I organized a fundraiser with my friends. It was a social media fundraiser that raised over $3,000 in less than 24 hours that was used to help those who were displaced by the protest in Minneapolis.
Advocacy honestly lied at the core of my speech and debate journey, and there's a lot of reasons why I believe that speech and debate students should be advocates. For one, speech and debate, without a doubt, equips you with the skills and the tools necessary to be the best advocate, the ability to collect information, to articulate yourself in a way that is clear and understandable. Those skills make for the best form of advocacy.
I think the most important thing that I can do is really impart the skills that I've learned onto the next generation and truly teach them that their voice matters too. I've done that in so many ways, from helping lead a nonprofit and host affordable workshops that teach social justice and education, to even furthering the lessons that are taught at Title I middle schools in my local community. I think the most important thing that we can do as speech and debaters is show others that their voice matters too. And that's what I've really tried to do these past few years with all of the skills that I've developed.
In my mind, equality means like the golden rule, treating everyone how you want to be treated, that type of thing. But I feel like equity is more than that. Equity is treating everyone how they deserve to be treated, which takes into account their humanity, because not everyone necessarily wants to be treated the same way as you, but everyone has a base level of how they deserve to be treated because they're all human.
Service is a cycle. So many wonderful people helped my team reach new heights. I owe it to others to serve and inspire them.
We have the ability to empower others with our voice. Every weekend we listen to story after story that are often neglected by the media and by education. It is important that as speech and debate students, we advocate for these people and we allow their stories to come to light. It is the only way that we can create a more inclusive and a much more tolerant society. Speech and debate is my superpower that allows me to help people, and I want to continue to do it.
Speech and debate, I think, is very unique in the skill set that it develops. Speaking persuasively, learning how to research effectively, and engage with people of different identities and thought processes. All of these skills are very, very, very useful in advocating the outside community, no matter what that movement may be. I found this to be personally very, very important, having the skills that I've learned in the speech and debate community and applying them to the LGBTQ+ civil rights movement, in addition to climate advocacy and advocacy in so many other areas.
If it's not us, then who will be, you know? Yes, this activity is fun and competitive, but something that my coaches always talk about is it's also really, really academic and it's educational, and we should be using these tools that we learn through this activity to be advocates. I think one of my biggest examples, and I use this all the time, is it's important for us to advocate outside of our rounds, because generally our rounds are safe spaces for a lot of these speakers. You will not be judged that harshly in these rounds, honestly. But the problem is when we don't advocate in spaces that make us uncomfortable or are unsafe for others, then it just turns into this echo chamber kind of.
So service is very important to me because it is one of the key ways that you can go about taking theoretical change and making it physical change. And when I say that, it's easy to talk about things, but it's much more difficult to actually take those things and make them tangible improvements. And that is why service is so important, because service is what allows for that transition. It allows for us to go from pen and paper to building houses, to changing communities, to changing lives. And it's for that very reason that service is something that is so imperative to me.
Advocacy without action is really worthless. There's so many causes that we talk so much about, but at the end of the day, if we aren't taking action, if we aren't serving our communities actively and being involved in actually changing the problem, then we're not going to make any true change to the communities and to the problems that exist in the status quo.
Our ability to evoke change in communities is knowing when we are beat, so that we can rise up stronger together.
Our third runners-up for the National Student of the Year, each receiving a $1,000 scholarship from Richard Bittner in honor of Bob Stockton, are Nurmit Chadden, Ben Liu, Akshat Parthen Ban, and Joshua Timmons. Our second runner-up, receiving a $1,500 scholarship from Richard Bittner in honor of Bob Stockton, is Ari Aris. Our runner-up, receiving a $2,000 scholarship from Richard Bittner in honor of Bob Stockton, is Maya Harris. And your 2021 William Wood Tates Jr. National Student of the Year, receiving a $2,500 scholarship from Richard Bittner in honor of Bob Stockton, Coben Samansky. Congratulations to our finalists. Next, we will recognize our award winners in public forum debate, presented by the Arthur N. Roop Foundation. The Roop Foundation is dedicated to achieving positive social change by shining the light of truth on critical and controversial issues by supporting public debate. 362 student teams participated in public forum debate at this year's tournament. Quarterfinalists in sixth place, each receiving a $1,500 scholarship. Emma Rogers and Shreyas Serini from Audrey Kell High School in North Carolina, coached by Chris Harrow. Quarterfinalists in fifth place, each receiving $1,500 scholarship. Leah Tan and Somaya Chundi from Carmel High School in Indiana, coached by Dylan Gentlecore. Semifinalists in fourth place, each receiving a $2,500 scholarship. Owen Spargo and Stephanie Sue from Doherty Valley High School in California, coached by Elisha Reddy, Shrivas Kiran, Vivian Kwang, and Rahi Kotadi. Semifinalists in third place, each receiving a $2,500 scholarship. Jess Chisholm and Ethan Potter from All Saints Episcopal School in Texas, coached by Christy Braley, placing second in public forum debate, each receiving a $4,500 scholarship. Are Killian Tang and Aaron Joy from Phillips Exeter Academy in New Hampshire, coached by Jeremy Russell, and with a 11-4 decision for the pro, your national champion in public forum debate, each receiving a $5,000 scholarship from the Arthur N. Roop Champion Trophy and the Arthur N. Roop Champion Trophy are Karina Go and Jennifer Lynn from Richard Montgomery High School in Maryland, coached by Adam Thane and Morgan Coffin.
It is Amy and my honor to award this year's Gregory Renee Sterner Lifetime Service Award winner. This year, it's personal. This year's Sterner Lifetime Service Award recipient embodied the idea of service. Born from a foundation of service and okay, I'm good now. Now I got the jitters out, so I'm good. Amy might not be, but I'm good. All right. It is Amy and my honor to award this year's Gregory Renee Sterner Lifetime Service Award together. This year, it's personal. This year's Sterner Lifetime Service Award recipient embodied the idea of service. Born from a foundation of service as an NSDA Honor Society member and Eagle Scout, Keith West lived with compassion and care as cornerstone characteristics of his personality. Upon graduation from high school as a three-time Iowa State champion and a finalist at the 2000 National Tournament in Congressional Debate, Keith went to college to pursue his career as an educator, coach, and scholar. After graduation, Keith dedicated his life to coaching and teaching youth in the ways of argumentation and debate. For the past 14 years, Keith West traveled to the national tournament as a valued member of the tournament logistics team, serving his community. In August of 2020, Keith passed from this life, and it left an unfillable hole in the fabric of our national tournament team. Never again will I hear those incredible words, "What can I do for you next, Wonder?" You see, Keith was more than a volunteer. Keith was a symbol of the true goodness that comes from a passionate belief in our honor code and for a love of the game. As Amy and I stand before you today, not just as Keith's colleagues at the national tournament, but as Keith's former high school coach and former high school debate team co-captain, it is our humble privilege to bestow upon Keith West the posthumous honor of the NSDA's highest award for service and volunteerism, the Sterner Lifetime Service Award. Keith's wife, Katie, has agreed to receive the award on Keith's behalf. Thank you.
At this time, let's recognize the top 14 speakers in Richard B. Sadako Policy Debate. Your first through 14 speakers in Richard B. Sadako Policy Debate are, in 14th place, Ukil Yengar for the Bellarmine College Preparatory in California, coached by Aaron Langerman, Annie Prahu, and Tyler Burho. In 13th place, Avi Upayalula from Bellarmine College Preparatory in California, coached by Aaron Langerman, Annie Prahu, and Tyler Bohu. In 12th place, Emmeline Hazelbrook from Camel High School in Washington, coached by Stephen Hellman. In 11th place, Zach Willingham from Washburn Rural High School in Kansas, coached by Tim Ellis and Sean Duff. In 10th place, Jayun Park from Washburn Rural High School in Kansas, coached by Tim Ellis and Sean Duff. In 9th place, Serena Roop from Lawrence Free State High School in Kansas, coached by Kelly Thompson. In 8th place, Kaylin Hilty from George Washington High School in Colorado, coached by Mary Rose Cohen and Miles Owens. In 7th place, Hayden Abdullahi from Egan High School in Minnesota, coached by Christopher McDonald, Travis Pennick, Robert Groven, and Josh Groven. In 6th place, Brendan Foodie from Bellarmine College Preparatory in California, coached by Aaron Langerman, Andy Prahu, and Tyler Voko. In 5th place, Donna Jalosko from Washburn Rural High School in Kansas, coached by Tim Ellis and Sean Duff. In 4th place, Ananya Chintalapudi from Copel High School in Texas, coached by Dr. Jason Sykes, Sunhee Simon, and Eric Mellon. In 3rd place, Joanna Gussis from Glenbrook North High School in Illinois, coached by Michael Greenstein. And in 2nd place, Blaine Monfort from Kickapoo High School in Missouri, coached by Chris Roberts and Michaela Jordan DeMeyer. The top debate speaker award is named in honor of one of debate's greatest coaches, Mrs. Phyllis Flory Barton of Cincinnati, Princeton, Ohio. Mrs. Barton coached a national championship team in both of the great national leagues, and upon her death, her students and colleagues set up a scholarship fund to honor the Barton top debate speaker. The Phyllis Flory Barton Trophy and a $250 Barton Scholarship goes to this year's top debate speaker, Arvna Kashyap from Copel High School in Texas, coached by Dr. Jason Sykes, Sunhee Simon, and Eric Mellon. 218 students participated in policy at this year's tournament. And now your winners in Richard B. Sadako Policy Debate are quarterfinalists in 6th place, Sonia Double D and Donna Jalesco from Washburn Rural High School in Kansas, coached by Tim Ellis and Sean Duff. Quarterfinalists in 5th place, Aaron Eaglestad and Claudia Liverseed from Egan High School in Minnesota, coached by Christopher McDonald, Travis Pennick, Robert Groven, and Josh Groven. Semifinalists in 4th place, Jayun Park and Zach Willingham from Washburn Rural High School in Kansas, coached by Tom Ellis and Sean Duff. Semifinalists in 3rd place, each receiving a $250 scholarship, are Aiden Basori and Ethan Harris from Lawrence Heights Free State High School in Kansas, coached by Kelly Thompson. Finalists in 2nd place, each receiving a $500 scholarship, are Bess Ocean and Jared Schertz from Gunn Senior High School in California, coached by Tim Johnson, Hoon Ko, and Will Halverson. The national champion policy debate team will receive the Harlan B. Mitchell Trophy, named after the association's legendary debate coach. Your champions in policy debate with an 8-5 decision on the affirmative, each receiving a $1,000 scholarship and receiving the Harlan B. Mitchell Trophy, are Ardish Hamath and Shariah Mutta from Bellarmine College Preparatory in California, coached by Aaron Langerman, Annie Prahu, and Tyler Voco. Each year, the Ted W. Belch Award, named after legendary coach and Hall of Fame member Ted Belch, is presented to the advisor of the National Champion Policy Debate Team. The name of this year's recipient is added to a permanent replica trophy housed in the National Speech and Debate Association national headquarters. This year's recipient of the Ted W. Belch Coaching Award and $500 is Aaron Langerman from Bellarmine College Preparatory in California. The Younger Cup. Is awarded this year to the Policy Debate Program, which has placed the highest cumulatively at 5 great national debate tournaments: the National Speech and Debate Tournament, the NCFL Grand, the Tournament of Champions, the NAUDL National Championship, and the NDCA Tournament. An antique silver 3-handled loving cup created by Tiffany at the turn of the century remains at the national office and bears the names of all Unger Cup recipients. The winning team will receive a beautiful award for permanent display. This year's Unger Cup goes to Aaron Langerman from Bellarmine College Prep in California.
Next up, we will congratulate our award winners in Lincoln Douglas Debate, presented by the National Speech and Debate Association, with scholarships sponsored by Victor G. At this time, let's recognize the top 14 speakers in Lincoln Douglas Debate. Your first through 14th speakers in Lincoln Douglas Debate, presented in memory of Tina Wang, are Elizabeth Ortman from Kimberly High School in Idaho, Coach Jen Torgson. In 13th place, Catherine Liu from Washington High School in South Dakota, coached by Eric Euchre and Travis Dolly. In 12th place, Kriti Vansudevan from Granite Bay High School in California, coached by Robert Pritchard and Sandra Peak. In 11th place, A. Millen Matthew from American Heritage Broward High School in Florida, coached by Spencer Orlowski, Joseph Quintana, Joel Dennis, and Ryan Levesque. In 10th place, Shruti Narayabatla from Ridge High School in New Jersey, coached by David Yastrzemski and Alex Rivera. In 9th place, Tim Carroll from Solbury School in Pennsylvania, coached by Jared Levy. In 8th place, from Leland High School in California, Sophia Liu, coached by Chris Wardner. In 7th place, Dev Payrot from University School in Ohio, coached by Eva Lamberson. In 6th place, Mia Lupica from McClintock High School in Arizona, coached by Richard Glover and Timothy Cornwell. In 5th place, Allie Holtz from Chagrin Falls High School in Ohio, coached by Ken Casey, Corrine Midlick, and Richard Haber. Your 4th speaker, Allie Dettelbach from Hawkins School in Ohio, coached by Robert Schertz and Ava Lamberson. In 3rd place, Mary Abby Karoom from American Heritage Broward High School in Florida, coached by Spencer Orlowski, Joseph Quintana, Joel Dennis, and Ryan Levesque. In your 2nd speaker, Gabrielle Schull from Audrey Kell High School in North Carolina, coached by David Edwards and Chris Haro. The top Lincoln Douglas Debate Speaker Award is named in honor of one of debate's great coaches, and NSDA Hall of Fame member, Dale Louder McCall of Florida. She was instrumental in defining the original rules and best practices for Lincoln Douglas debate.
Dale Lauder McCall was one of the debate coaches who built the event we know as Lincoln Douglas Debate. This year, we are proud to honor her legacy with the Dale Lauder McCall Lincoln Douglas Debate Top Speaker Award. When Lincoln Douglas Debate was created, Dale was one of the biggest supporters of the new debate event. Her expertise helped define its rules and develop the best practices for teams to succeed. She qualified numerous students to the national tournament in policy debate, original oratory, and of course, Lincoln Douglas Debate. Dale was inducted into the Hall of Fame in 1993 as recognition of her countless contributions to the speech and debate community. Now, let's hear from one of Dale's students, Marna Weston.
Greetings to the National Speech and Debate Association family. I am Marna Weston, a coach in North Central Florida's Panther District. Our school is still remembered today because we were fortunate to be directed by Hall of Fame coach Barbara Dale Lauder McCall. I am so very honored to represent each of her students, and on our behalf, to thank the NSDA for this exciting recognition and news to our global organization. I personally found out that Mrs. McCall was a crafty and skilled debater and orator. She was one of the progenitors of Lincoln Douglas Debate, or to use the vernacular for just a moment, she was an OG LDer. Her vision forever transformed forensics, and me personally. My family didn't have the resources for the hotels and national travel and national fees, but Mrs. McCall figured out a way to fund those opportunities on my behalf through letting me help with fundraising and also letting me show the talents that I would continue to develop. Today, I look forward to continuing those contributions in her memory. Debate itself is constantly evolving, and I hope this emphasis on her legacy as a coach and innovator and why LD was brought into existence in the first place will lead to greater communication, achievements, and better debate performances for audiences by those future speakers in future Lincoln Douglas rounds who seek to achieve this high honor and named award. Thank you, Executive Director Scott Wunn, President Pam Katie Wyckoff, and the National Speech and Debate Association Board for this acknowledgement of Mrs. McCall's legacy. And to her family, husband Marvin, son Carter, And my schoolmate, her daughter Heather, thank you for sharing such a precious gift with us through the decades. And for the Lincoln Douglas debaters out there, as you hold your trophies high, thank your families, your schools, and coaches, and also give a moment to think on the legacy of Barbara Dale Lauder McCall.
The Dale Lauder McCall Top Speaker Trophy and a $500 scholarship in honor of Tina Wang goes to this year's top debate speaker, Caden Metcalf from Independence Chrism High School in Missouri, coached by Sheila Holt. 369 students competed in Lincoln Douglas at this year's tournament, and your winners in Lincoln Douglas debate are the quarterfinalists in 6th place. Madeline Gomez from Bishop Kelly High School in Oklahoma, coached by Linda Shipley and Aaron Clark. The quarterfinalist in 5th place. Allie Bedblock from Hawkins School in Ohio, coached by Robert Schertz and Eva Laberson. The semifinalists in 4th place. Sia Sharma from Monte Vista High School in California, coached by David Madley. The semifinalists in 3rd place, receiving a scholarship for $250. Sophia Avery from Chagrin Falls High School in Ohio, coached by Ken Casey, Corrine Midlick, and Richard Haber. Placing 2nd in Lincoln Douglas debate, receiving a $500 scholarship, is the negative Catherine Liu from Washington High School in South Dakota, coached by Eric Euchre and Travis Dolly, and your national champion in Lincoln Douglas debate, receiving a $1,000 scholarship from Victor G. Winning with an 8-5 decision is the affirmative Katie Jack from George Washington High School in Colorado, coached by Mary Rose Cohen, Devin Sarno, and Miles Owen. Please join me in congratulating our award winners in World Schools Debate, presented by Simpson College. Simpson College offers students a comprehensive forensics experience. Students choose from 18 speech events and 5 debate events, including public forum. Simpson College won the Pi Kappa Delta National Debate Tournament sweepstakes in 2016, 2018, 2019, and most recently in 2021, making them the reigning champs. In addition to a national travel schedule, the team provides great opportunities to get involved on campus and meet new people. At this time, we recognize the 1st through 14th speakers in World Schools Debate. In 14th place, Cameron Kettles from the Lone Star District in Texas, coached by Cindy Timmons and Aaron Timmons. In 13th place, Jaden Rams from Western Slope District in Colorado. In 12th place, Braden Watkins from the Idaho Gem of the Mountain District, coached by Ben Smolden. In 11th place, Jack Morgenstein from Tar Heel East District in North Carolina, coached by Brittany McNeil and Jacob Palmer. In 10th place, Janani Ganesh from the New England District in Massachusetts, coached by Paul Wexler. In 9th place, Avery DeWitt from Central Minnesota District, coached by Katie Scholes, Tammy Trout McIntyre, and Matt Davis. Your 8th speaker, Christine Wan from East Texas District, coached by Jeffrey Stirl and Renita Johnson. In 7th place, Prunav Garigipati from San Francisco Bay District in California, coached by Gregory Rodriguez. In 6th place, Jane Jusko from the North Coast District in Ohio, coached by James Lewis, Tracy Coleman, and Stephanie Kahn. In 5th place, Siddhartha Satish from the New Jersey district, coached by Mary Gormley, Lori Schmidt, and Emily Carter. In fourth place, Aaron Albers from the South Carolina district, coached by Chuck Nicholas, Greg Snood, and John Anastasio. Your third speaker, Leah Braden from the Chesapeake district in Washington, D.C., coached by Tim Stroud. In second place, from the North Coast District of Ohio, Abby McGowan, coached by James Lewis, Tracy Coleman, and Stephanie Kahn. And this year's top World School speaker, receiving a $100 scholarship from Simpson College and the Robert Shrum Award, goes to Will Ryan from Rocky Mountain South in Colorado, coached by Mark Trevithick and Tammy Peters. Tonight, we will recognize the top 4 teams in World Schools Debate, which began the week with 220 teams. The winning team shall receive the Dr. Alfred Tuna Snyder Championship Plaque, sponsored by board member Tom Rollins. Your winners in World Schools Debate are semifinalists representing Chesapeake Gold: Karam Weigert, Sophie Rivas, Leah Braden, Tristan Mays, Chris O'Brien, coached by Tim Stroud. Semifinalists representing New England Red: Timothy Coldidge, Sasha Reiser, Victor Tom, Abby Shue, Aiden Healy, coached by Paul Wexler. Placing second, each receiving a $100 scholarship from Simpson College, is Team Prop from Rocky Mountain South, Silver in Colorado: Andrew Jackson, Rachel Murr, Madigan Petrie, Will Ryan, Sam Kang, and Rachel Murr. And Madigan Petrie, coached by Tammy Peters, Mike Trevithick Mullen. Your champion team on a 7-6 decision. Each receiving a $200 scholarship from Simpson College's Team Up. From Space City Violin in Texas: Anthony Hong, Diego Castillo, Ebenezer Apaya, Rodrigo Trio, coached by Ashley Freeman and Andy Stubbs. Now, congratulations to the finalists of Big Questions Debate, a debate format supported by a grant from the John Templeton Foundation. This year's students have grappled with the complex worldview questions as they debate both sides of the topic resolved. Mathematics was discovered, not invented. Tournaments and classrooms that hold Big Questions debates are eligible to receive thousands of dollars per event. Thanks to the generosity of the Templeton Foundation, the NSDA has given almost $1.5 million to speech and debate programs across the country since 2016. We're excited that the foundation will generously support Big Questions for another year, creating continued opportunities for students to debate topics at the intersection of science, philosophy, and theology. You can host a Big Questions event at your tournament, at a school scrimmage, or even a classroom event. Please visit nsdabigquestions.org. That's nsdabigquestions.org. And there you'll find out more about how to do that. Your winners from the 50 teams competing at the 2021 Big Questions Debate: semifinalist in fourth place and receiving a $1,250 scholarship from the John Templeton Foundation, Archon Sen from Egan High School in Minnesota, coached by Christopher McDonald. A semifinalist in third place, receiving a $1,250 scholarship from the John Templeton Foundation, Greenlee Crow from Fayetteville High School in Arkansas, coached by Samantha Johnson. And placing second and receiving a $2,500 scholarship from the John Templeton Foundation, is the affirmative. Dan Julie from Hillcrest High School in Utah, coached by Ronald Hill, and your champion receiving a $5,000 scholarship from the John Templeton Foundation and winning on a 5-4 decision is the negative. Oam Patel from Mountain Home High School in Idaho, coached by Robin Christensen.
Hello, seniors. This is Mr. One here for the second year in a row with my director's charge to you. I'm not delivering it from the main stage on Friday night as I would usually do, and I'm back here again at my desk. But I still want to take a little time, unedited, to just tell you what's on my mind, and I really appreciate you listening. When last year ended in such incredible turmoil and we were able to provide a national tournament experience, as soon as that experience was over and the shock of actually making it through it ended, I think it was like the very next day that my mind shifted to you and what your senior year was going to look like. I can't remember the staff or anyone else being really concerned about anything else other than how will you have a speech and debate experience where you can not only have a culmination of your career as a speech and debate participant, but still gain the essential skills that come from the activity. And I have to say, it's because of you and your attitudes this year that it happened, that platforms were built, experiences were gained, sweat and tears were given up from your coaches to you to make sure this experience happened. And then you stepped up and said, yes, I'm going to participate in this activity and I'm going to do it at the highest level. And I'm going to figure out a way that this online virtual system can still allow my voice to be heard. And I think that someday society will realize that 365 days of you not giving up, of you saying, I'm going to train, I'm going to perfect the ability to use my voice for important messages, society is going to find out that 365 days was crucial because of the impact that you're going to have. You see, I truly believe that you have a superpower. I truly believe that the combination of critical thinking, listening, and then using your voice to express key arguments to society is the greatest superpower there is. And you seniors, you uniquely have a combination of using all of those skills in both a live and a virtual platform that very few people have ever experienced in life. So as you go on to your life pursuits, further education, any aspiration that you have, my charge to you is to remember that superpower you uniquely have gained comes with tremendous responsibilities. And frankly, I look forward to the pride in your coaches' eyes as they see what you do with it. I know that this year's director's charge is not a fiery brimstone speech. I just want it to be a conversation between you seniors and myself, understanding from this day forward, it is your responsibility to use that superpower to change the world for the good. I wish you the best of luck, but I promise you, with the skills you have, if you persevere and work hard, luck will find its way.
Thank you for making the debate portion of the 89th National Tournament a huge success. Our second online nationals will be an incredible thing to look back on. Please join us tomorrow night at 6 p.m. Central Time here at live.speechanddebate.org for the speech supplemental event and school awards portion of our tournament awards ceremony. The Dr. Tommy Lindsay Jr. Asynchronous Duo Interpretation Finals has begun, and it started at 8 o'clock Central Time on live stream number 3. Congratulations to your 2021 debate national champions. Thanks and good night.
Good night.
I was going to wait.